I dedicated 8 years of my life to military service. During that time, I participated in nuclear emergency drills that most civilians will never witness. What I'm about to share could literally save your life. Nearly everything you believe about surviving the initial hour of a nuclear crisis is fundamentally incorrect. When that alarm sounds, you'll have mere minutes, possibly less. Here are 6 critical facts they never share with civilians that could determine whether you survive or perish. First truth. Your basement will become your tomb. Everyone assumes basements offer maximum protection. Military training tells a completely different story. Here's the reality. Most residential basements feature ground-level windows, inadequate foundation walls, and a single escape route. When that exit gets blocked by rubble or structural collapse, you're entombed alive. Radioactive fallout penetrates through window wells and drainage systems. You're trapped in a concrete coffin, inhaling poisoned air with zero chance of escape. Our training emphasized locating the most interior space on a middle floor of any multi-level structure. Bathrooms, storage closets, corridors without exterior exposure. You need protective mass surrounding you from every direction, above, below, and laterally. A centrally located second-floor bathroom provides superior protection compared to any basement. The physics behind this is straightforward. Radiation strength decreases according to the inverse square principle. While distance helps, shielding provides greater protection. 6 inches of concrete blocks the majority of gamma radiation. Standard basement walls measure only 4 inches thick, and that's merely on 3 sides. The 4th side remains exposed earth. If you're sheltering in a residential home, your optimal location is an interior bathroom or closet on the ground level, positioned furthest from any windows. Fill your bathtub completely before sealing yourself inside. Stack books, furniture, anything with density against the surrounding walls. You're constructing an improvised bunker using available materials. Time is absolutely critical. You have 10 to 15 minutes maximum before the shockwave arrives, perhaps 30 minutes before fallout begins descending. Don't squander those precious minutes rushing to an inadequate location. Second truth, glass kills faster than radiation exposure. Here's what civilians fail to comprehend. The explosion's shockwave represents your immediate danger, not the radiation itself. The initial flash occurs first. If you witness it, immediately turn away and drop to the ground. Shield your eyes completely. That thermal blast will permanently blind you through window glass and ignite combustible materials from miles away. 3 seconds later, the shockwave strikes. Windows transform into fragmented projectiles traveling at hundreds of miles per hour. I've reviewed actual training footage. Glass doesn't simply shatter. It detonates inward in a horizontal spray trajectory that destroys everything in its path. Military procedure is absolute. Distance yourself from all windows immediately, not just those facing the detonation. Every single window. The shockwave rebounds off structures and landscape features. It approaches from multiple angles simultaneously. If you're positioned near windows when the alert activates, you have exactly 2 choices. Reach an interior space or flatten yourself on the floor beneath window height behind something substantial, a desk, a counter, a concrete barrier. The shockwave moves in direct lines. If there's mass positioned between you and the glass, you might survive. Don't attempt boarding up windows. You lack sufficient time. Just distance yourself from them. Even after the initial blast passes, those windows remain hazardous. The vacuum effect can reverse debris outward. Remain flat for a minimum of 30 seconds following the primary wave. Third truth, your smartphone becomes a deadly distraction. This single factor kills people in every simulation we conducted. The instant that alert broadcasts, everyone reaches for their device. They contact family members, scroll through social media, stream news coverage, and waste their only survivable minutes. Here's the sequence. Cellular networks overload instantaneously. You won't connect, or worse, you do connect, and now you're positioned by a window, having an emotional exchange while fallout drifts toward your location. Social platforms become misinformation factories. Fabricated evacuation instructions. false safety declarations, terror-inducing videos. Your mind cannot process that volume of input during crisis conditions. It freezes you completely. Military protocol is unambiguous. Power the phone down. Not silent mode. Completely off. Preserve the battery. You'll require it later for genuine emergency transmissions, not endless scrolling. If family members are in distant locations, you should already have established protocols, a designated meeting point, a remote contact person everyone communicates with once networks stabilize. If that plan doesn't exist now, making phone calls during the first hour won't establish one. Here's the brutal reality. During the first hour, you cannot assist anyone beyond arm's reach. Attempting remote assistance just kills you both. Secure yourself first. Communicate afterwards. The single exception is a battery-operated radio tuned to emergency channels. FEMA broadcasts, no AA weather radio. Local emergency communications. Listen for 2 minutes, document the information, power it off. That's the complete procedure. Fourth truth, the fallout window spans 15 to 45 minutes. Here's what they conceal from you. The explosion isn't when majority casualties occur. It's the 30-minute period immediately following. Fallout requires time to descend. Depending on atmospheric conditions, wind velocity, and distance from detonation point, you have approximately 15 to 45 minutes between the blast and when radioactive particles begin settling in lethal densities. That interval is when panic drives everyone outdoors. They assume the danger has passed. They search for family members. They attempt to drive away, and they walk directly into the descending fallout cloud. We designated it the kill zone interval. More fatalities occur during that window than from the initial detonation in most projections. What you do instead is this. The instant the blast occurs, you remain inside and seal your space. Not after checking on neighbors, not after surveying the damage. Immediately. Grab towels, tape, clothing, anything available. Force it into every gap under doors, around window frames, ventilation openings. You're preventing particulate matter from entering. Fallout is essentially dust. Dense radioactive dust. It doesn't penetrate solid walls, but it flows through openings. If you're already in a sealed space when fallout arrives, your radiation exposure decreases by 90%. If you're outside, you're inhaling it. It's accumulating on your skin and initiating a countdown you cannot reverse. The first 2 hours following the blast are absolutely critical. Stay inside. Stay sealed. Don't open your door for anyone. I recognize that sounds unforgiving. It's also your only survival option. Fifth truth. Water matters more than food, but not how you imagine. Everyone understands you need water. What they don't realize is that timing outweighs quantity in the first hour. Military survival protocol is clear. The moment you secure shelter, you fill every possible container with water. Bathtubs, sinks, cookware, bottles, buckets. You complete this before sealing the room, before rationing anything, before sitting down. Why this urgency? Because water infrastructure fails rapidly. Either the blast damages systems or authorities shut down supply to prevent contaminated water from entering distribution networks. You have perhaps 10 to 20 minutes of water pressure following the blast before it vanishes completely. That bathtub water serves multiple purposes beyond drinking. It's for decontaminating your skin if you were exposed. It's for waste disposal. It's for treating burns. It's for surviving 2 weeks while outside radiation decays to manageable levels. Food represents a secondary concern. You can endure 3 weeks without food. You'll suffer, but you'll survive. Water gives you 3 days maximum, and that assumes minimal physical activity. Here's your priority sequence. Seal the room. Fill containers with water. Then address food. Grab whatever is accessible. Canned products, dried foods, anything not requiring refrigeration. Don't waste time organizing supplies. Just transport it into your shelter and seal the entrance. One additional point. If you're filling containers and the water emerges brown or smells like chemicals, Cease using it immediately. The system is already compromised. Use what you've collected and avoid contamination risks. Sixth truth. There's one scenario where you abandon the shelter protocol. Everything I've explained assumes your shelter remains structurally intact. But there's one scenario where remaining inside will kill you faster than going outside. If you detect gas odors, if you observe fire spreading, if the structure is collapsing, you evacuate immediately. Here's how you do it safely. Cover your nose and mouth with damp fabric. Multiple layers, a wet shirt, a towel, anything that filters particles. It won't block gamma radiation, but it'll prevent you from inhaling fallout dust. Cover all exposed skin, long sleeves, pants, gloves, if available. Fallout represents a surface contamination problem. Keep it off your skin and out of your respiratory system. Move quickly, but don't run. Running disturbs dust and accelerates your breathing rate. You'll inhale more contamination. Walk rapidly. Head toward the nearest intact structure with an interior space, a neighbor's residence, a commercial property, anywhere with solid walls and a room away from windows. Once you reach the new location, remove your outer clothing layer immediately. Leave it in the entry area. Don't transport contaminated garments into your shelter space. If you have water available, rinse your hands and face. Pat dry. Don't wipe. Wiping distributes contamination. Then seal the new room and don't exit again until authorities issue clearance or you're forced to relocate again. One final point. If you're deciding whether to stay or evacuate, ask yourself this single question. Is the immediate threat inside greater than the radiation threat outside? If the answer is yes, you move. If the answer is no, you stay. Don't second-guess yourself. Those are the 6 critical facts military training provides that most civilians never learn. You have 1 hour to execute this correctly. 1 hour to locate shelter, seal it, secure water, and remain stationary. The outside world will be absolute chaos. Your instinct will urge you to help others, to flee, to take action. Resist it completely. The most valuable thing you can do for everyone you care about is stay alive. Survive the first hour, then survive the first day. Then we address what follows next. If this information helped you, share it with someone who needs to see it. And if you want to understand what happens after the first 24 hours, let me know in the comments. Stay safe.